Good morning, good afternoon, and good evening, whenever and wherever you are. Welcome back to the Beta Plan, as we are about to talk to Darkon.
What is your will?
Well, there are things I would like to know, Darkon. And about the four, about our travels. What fell describing the two on my arm? You said you knew the symbols. What four are these? Yeah, you said that. And which one of them was the you? Were you this... What can you tell me about the four? Let's go first into a little bit more general. The woman was young, she worshipped time, for in her blood she knew of things to come. Dianora. The archer was a blind man, he could see things that no other one could see. The path of his arrows always led to the heart of the enemy. The familiar and the slave, I know little of. See things to come. The woman's name wasn't Dianora, was it?
Updated my journal.
No, the Dianora was a name that she carried. What can you tell me of the archer? I know little of him. I know he was a soldier. I know that alcohol had taken a portion of his life. In blindness he had come to know a different sight. In knowing this he had become strong, yet he did not know his own strength. Do you know what his name was? Before Darkon can respond, you suddenly know the answer. There's a crawling sensation in the back of your skull, and you feel the name surfacing beneath a great muddy ocean. His name was Xaxaria. He was blind, but in blindness he had gained a second sight that allowed him to see things hidden to others. He was an archer, but where his arrows flew, they found the hearts of their targets.
Updated my journal.
Know that Xaxaria was his name he carried, and know that his name pierced the hearts of many enemies. And tell me of the others. What do you know of these four? Do you know where I was traveling with them? The tattoos speak nothing of that path, only the symbol that bound them. Know that the path may have been known only to you. Well, can you tell me more about the four on the thing? Yes. There was an answer to tell him that he was a slave, but why did you not tell me about this? The four are bound with a symbol that is known to me. What symbol? The symbol is torment. Fel said that you have always worn it, but the flesh knows that it suffers, even when the mind does not. Yes, indeed it did. Oh, come on. How do I get back to that? Travels. There we go. Just go back to the beginning. And which one of them was you, Darkon? Were you the slave? Because we know the pet is the mage pet. That is Mort. Darkon is silent for a moment, and the surface of his blade swarms as if in turmoil. Know that this one owed you a service, and owing this to you became a slavery. Yes, time for some history with Darkon. How could this be? Know the tale is long, and the matter is between me and the other that once was you. Know that if you hear it, no, it shall be a long tale. Well, I would hear it nonetheless. And then we will end the episode, but nonetheless, we would hear it now. No stalling. Upon the rolling plains of Limbo, the people shape cities from the chaos with their thoughts. Know that there is no place for a divided mind. Darkon raises his blade from his shoulder and holds it before him. As he stares at it, it sharpens until it's almost as thin as a piece of paper. A divided mind is an unfocused mind. The divided mind fractures walls and weakens stone. As Darkon speaks, the edges of the blade corrode slightly, the metal misting and melting along the edges. Many divided minds may destroy a city. Long have I known the words of Zeremon. Through my voice many have become to know the words of Zeremon. The Zerf protect the community from all threats, whether to the body or the mind. They are the guiding stones in the chaos. So it came to pass that I spoke the words of Zeremon without knowing the words of Zeremon. It came to pass that I no longer knew myself. So you doubted the words? No, Darkon's voice is edged, and his blade sharpens in response. I knew the words. Yet it came into my heart that perhaps others did not know the words as Zeremon knew them. And we already discussed in, an episode ago, Darkon. And so the vision formed, and my mind became as two. As my mind became divided, those that looked to me as a guiding stone became divided. Many scores of Gitzerai, many hundreds of scores of Gitzerai doubted. Shrek Tor died that day. So those that followed you came to doubt the words as well, and the city was weakened. Enemies of Zeremon came. Know that they're haters of his words, and the people lent their blade strength. Know that they sensed the weakened city. They brought war with them. Many Gitzerai drowned in the chaos and beneath the blades of our enemies. Small beats of metal appear on the surface of the blade as if blistering. No, this happened long ago. And what happened to you? As I fell from the walls, know that myself was broken. My blade was missed, my mind divided. I was adrift upon limbo seas, and I wished to drown. I died for days, my mind awash in division, when death finally came to me. It wore your skin. It had your voice. Me? Yes, that I hear you. As Dakon says the words, your vision bleed outwards, and a crawling sensation begins to worm its way up through the back of your skull. You feel nauseous for a moment, and your vision is suddenly as chaos, smeared, twisted. And you are someplace else, someplace in the past. Everything around you is in turmoil. Your vision is hazy, swirling, dizzying all at once. There's a mist, buckets of fire, eyes in the mud, stone, and ice-covered rocks swimming through the plain like fish, impacting and dissolving, droplets of water arcing through the howling air and lashing your skin like teeth. You choke back your nausea and you steady yourself. This is the plane of limbo. All is chaos, nothing is stable. You focus on the dying man that lies before you. This is why you have come to this place. Echo, examine the Zerth. See if he still lives. The man is a Gitzerai, his body embedded in an earthen bucket that swirls around him. Unconsciously, he has formed a grave from the elements. And though bits of fire and water lick at his face, he does not respond. His hands are ashen, his cool black eyes focused on nothing. His emaciated frame, which means that he hasn't eaten in a while, speaks of starvation. Oh, there we go again, typical Peter plan. But you know it is the least of his wounds. It is the fate that dealt him the mortal blow. Look for the blade he carries. In his limp left hand is a twisted mass of metal, its surface having melted away around his hand like a gauntlet. As you watch, it steams and hisses like a diseased snake. The Gitzerai does not seem to be aware of it, but it is that weapon that has brought you here. Dakon, Zerv of Shucked Lord drowning, last wielder of the Karach blade. Know that I have come to you with the words of Zordamon, carved not in chaos, but in stone, carved by the will, in an unbroken circle. As the word Zordamon, Dakon eyes rolls in their sockets, and they attempt to focus upon you. With effort, he cracks his mouth to speak, but only a dry hiss emerges. You bring forth the stone from your pack, and hold it before him so he can see. Know that the words of Zordamon inscribed upon the stone are true, and know that your divided mind need be divided no longer. All you must do is take the stone, and you shall know yourself again. Dakon's eyes flicker upon the unbroken circle of Zordamon, and for a moment you think he might be too close to death to recognize it. Then the right hand twitches, and he pulls it slowly from its earthen prison. The clumps of earth straining off it become water in Limbo's chaotic winds. His skeletal hands clutches a stone like a drowning man, and his eyes flash. Know that I have saved your life, Dakon. Zerv, a shocked lord.
Updated my journal.
Dakon's eyes turn from the stone and flicker over you, and he hisses again, too dry for a moment to muster words. He blinks slowly, then he speaks, his voice barely above a whisper, but the words are what you want to hear. My life is yours, until yours is no more. I heard your words. In chaos, my mind became still. I knew myself again.
Updated my journal.
So I gave you the circle. Yes, in knowing its word, I knew myself. But did I save your life, Dakon? Or did it divide you further upon once you studied the circle? Dakon is silent for a moment, but his blade writhes as if in pain. He is slow to speak again, and then when he does, his voice is somber. It divided me. Then did I save your life, Dakon? Or did I only add to the pain you already felt? Those words of Zordamon, they only seem to divide you more. I see it when you pore over your teachings, like we did so many days ago, and finally found your peace. I say that I never saved you, Dakon. I only raised you from near death so that you might die again. If you had died as Shock Lord, then you would have known peace. Your words carry the weight of truth. The death I would have died as Shock Lord, that would have been the last death. Every day I have lived since is a new death. Well, here we can say that we, well, want him as a slave, such as in the way of things, and we could have said before, I think, the option for a slave, but, well, we have done enough evil for this episode, so let's end it on a happy note. You need serve me no more, Dakon. I never saved your life. I once killed you twice. You owe me nothing. No. Dakon's forehead creases in pain, and his eyes stare through you. It is not your word that carries the weight, and your word will not free me. The will that changed me is mine, the torment is mine. I know in my heart that a change remains. Words will not free them. Is there any way you can be freed then? You must die a final death. Yet your path is not death's path. There's no resolution in this matter. Vow. I swear I will find one, Dakon. I will find one that sets you free.
Updated my journal.
Dakon's voice becomes ragged as if he has suddenly become sick. No, you have added other words to my words. His expression is pain and his gaze me jaws. Now you've changed us both. We'll speak of this another time. This matter is not closed. Let's move on. No worries, Dakon. This is what it shall be, for we are good. I noticed that the clock was not run out. I ran out a little too early away from you, and I would not want to do that to my watchers. Well, actually, I could have ended it. It is after 15 minutes, but I think we can do just one more little thing before we say bye-bye for real. And that's why the little skips there. But yes, let us find the archer. And I know exactly where he is. Desmond Gate Guard. Yes, I would like to enter the mortuary. I am here to pay my respects to Dianora, the woman of the Northwest Memorial Hall. Very well, follow me. Thank you so much. You there, hold! Oh, darn it, that is still not resolved? That matter? That is interesting. They still think that I am a walking, talking corpse. And interesting. But yes, is that you? Right. No, I believe it's right. You. You. Okay, that was a very interesting growl there. He smells foul. Remember him? Use Storybone's tell ability on the corpse. What? The zombie is awkwardly getting his voice back, and he sounds alarmed. Who's there? Answer me. Can you not see me? Xaxaria? What? You? The zombie seems shocked but gladdened by the lady's gaze. His tone takes on a sense of wonder. Aren't you dead, Cutter? What are you doing here? I'm a stable hand in the most lifeless place of all. Be it that I could pass beyond to the eternal boundary and have a plane to call my home. But much of my soul was squandered, and now I am here. I had some questions, if I may. What led you to this state, Xaxaria? Archer, whose arrow struck true even if you could not see your enemy. His voice drops as if ashamed. It's a hard path following in your footsteps, Cutter. And many terrible things did I see. I took to drink and became half sodden with the stuff. Once when I was sudden drunk, I signed my body off to the Dusties. Fate decided to kick me when I was down, and died shortly afterwards. Not only that, you were already, by the way Dakon told me, you were already blind before I got to you, but what can you tell me about my previous companions? A motley crew we were. A half-dead man who couldn't get himself penned in the dead book if he tried. Struggling all the powers of death wouldn't take him. A waiting advocate's daughter. A gift exile. A bobbing jackal-tongued skull. And a half-sodden blind-eyed archer like myself. Gif? Grim-looking Gif. Unfriendly and silent. Like all their kind. Didn't trust that Gif a lick, I didn't. See, Cutter? Them spindly kids care only about two things. Keeping out of slavery and killing them squid-headed illitids. Everything else is just lower down slope and give a damn about any of us other than you. Why was that? Oh, he doesn't know, but we actually know. Wailing Advocate's daughter? That feisty chit who would be a soldier swore she would follow you to Bader and back, and by the power she was so addled by the thought of you, vowed her, she did just that. Cared little for me or to give, and a bare little it was. She was wild with heart, poison for you, she was. Proof she was balmy. I don't understand what the woman's folk saw in your scarred mug, but it set their blood a-boil. She was some rich scut from the clerk's ward, and you needed something from her, and the only prize was that she came with you. Well, what do I want from her? Well, he doesn't know that, but we know it is, of course, a sight. A floating skull, that filthy talking skull, was hankering for a bruising, so he was. Always smarting off it was, and making fun of my condition. And you were the blind archer, were you not? That I was. You truly had forgotten, haven't you? Old men see with more than their eyes, Cutter. Some of them better than others. I sense the heart of my foes, your foes, and my arrows always struck true. Ah, those were what were sometimes. Well, if you only reach hearts, then we'll pray that we need not find a lot of undead. But then again, you always hit the living ones. You were pretty good. So, what can you tell me else about your previous life? Have you forgotten yourself? In a matter of speaking, yes. Well, you were a strange one, always suspicious and watching for something. I reckon somebody like you had gotten enough enemies in your lifetime. Or lifetimes. And there was no denying that anybody who messed with you ended up in the black chapters of the Dead Book. Anything else? Anything specifics? You could be damnable ruthless too. Like when you made me sign that contract. Or abandon that one mewling chit on Avernus. We had a bailer of a time as well. No one was ever entertained the notion to jump ship on your watch, son. Wow. Which contract did I let you sign? And the mewling chit, I hope that was not Deanora, I doubt it, but... I see. What else? Anything could have helped. At your core, you looked at what happened to you. You were like taking territory in a war. Everything was like a battle to you. And you were the most ruthless bastard I have ever near met. Naught else mattered except for solving that goal. Poor Deanora was her sobbing and her pleading with you didn't sway you none. The gift warned you about your strategies. And poor Saxaria just trying to hold on when we hit the plains. We were tough like you couldn't die, but we were only human. No, I guess we're all in the Dead Book. Or in and out of it, so to speak. Anything else? You left something when you left us, Cutter. You left Dakan without a master, and the skull without a friend. Friend, if I was that ruthless? Me? You stabbed something so deep inside me it never came out when I was alive. Caused my blood to run cold, it did. That thing sitting there like a lump of lead on my chest. What is it? I don't know. But it changed me somehow. Changed my inside. I was already dying when you put it in me, so I wasn't too concerned about it at the time. Can I have it back? I'm so sorry to ask it, but can I? It's buried pretty deep, but I have an idea of where it is. Without a scalpel and some directions from me, you won't be able to get it. You got a scalpel? Actually, yes, I still have it. Then open me up half a hand's width below the sternum and feel around for it. Do it. A little more to the left, a little more. Your hand closes on an object. Pull it out. You pull out a zombie liver. By a lady's gaze. Apologies, Cutter. Thought them dustmen took out all the organs out of us before pulling us out of the Dead Book. Give it another go. Maybe it's to the right. There you go. Now go a little to the right and back. A little more. You'll feel something hard and cold. Slightly larger than you expected. I think that's it. Pull it out. You are holding a blackened fist-sized object that is extremely heavy for its size. That's it, all right? Bigger than I thought it'd be. Is that... what is that? It's like a heart. I think so, yes. Thanks, Xerxaria. I think it's time for you to rest. I must go now. Farewell. Before you go, I need you to do me a slight favor, Cutter. What is it? His voice dropped as if ashamed. I made some mistakes. Some damned bad ones, to be sure. And one of my biggest ones was signing the Dustman contract. If I hadn't been so sullen with Bob, I never would have done it. I regret it. And I was hoping you could set it all right. How? Well, yeah, I reckon this body's gonna last a long time. And every day is too long to me. Could you maybe gut me again, Cutter? For old time's sake. The thought of spending another batch of years here in a mortuary with that white faces is a mighty cold one. Can you see fit to put me back in the Dead Book where I belong? If that is what you wish, Coxaria. You got him, and Coxaria falls to the floor with a heavy thud. There's a faint hiss from the body, and you see the chest heave once. Then with a faint rattle, the corpse goes silent. Rest in peace, Coxaria. And there goes one of my oldest companions. Oof! And we got him, Coxaria's heart. +1 dexterity when broken. Only usable by fighters. Well, we shall use it. But we shall do so in the next episode. Or perhaps before the next episode. I say I thank you for watching, and remember, Great peril yields great beauty.